What's good, fam? What we just witnessed in Toronto, that wasn't a concert. That wasn't a diss track. That was a cultural collapse. A moment that felt like the ground shifted under hip-hop's biggest name. Because Kendrick Lamar didn't just step into Drake's home turf. He took it, burned the flag, and left the ashes in front of the CN Tower. And the craziest part, Toronto held the door open for him. This wasn't supposed to happen. Drake built his whole identity on that city. He wasn't just repping the six. He branded it, sold it, turned it into the whole global aesthetic. OVO hoodies, Raptors sidelines, views from the freaking six. He made Toronto the centerpiece of his image, his music, his entire empire. But now that empire crumbled in 2 nights flat. Kendrick didn't just outsell him, outrap him, or outshine him. He took Drake's entire foundation and flipped it against him. Those 2 nights at the Rogers Center weren't just sold out shows, they were public executions. And the weapon, not like us. That song has officially become the death anthem of the Sixth God. Back-to-back encores, screamed word for word by tens of thousands. And it wasn't just hype, it was heartbreak for Drake. This was supposed to be his safe zone, his comeback stage, his city's warm embrace. Instead, they made Kendrick the king. Let that sink in. Drake's own city crowned his biggest rival. That's not just a loss, that's a dethroning. That's a legacy damage. The type of damage you don't bounce back from with a surprise EP or a sassy Instagram caption. This ain't no radio stat or Billboard chart. This is the one thing Drake always swore he had on lock, Toronto. And now, even that's gone. Now here's where things get weird. Drake could have responded with bars. He could have stepped up, faced the music, took it to the booth. But instead, my man ran to Instagram, posted a bunch of moody filtered pics, and tried to act unbothered, like he wasn't out here getting smoked in his own backyard. One pic, a DM where he literally called a Toronto politician a goof for being at Kendrick's concert. You heard that right. Instead of clapping back at the rapper who just took his throne, Drake's sending middle school insults to elected officials. We talking about a dude who used to be considered untouchable. Now he out here beefing with his own hometown. Petty, bitter, lost. The exact energy of someone who knows deep down it's over, but refuses to admit it. And that little DM moment, that was just the start. Drake didn't just take an L. He's inventing new ways to make it worse. Because next, he doubled down on the embarrassment. Drake went and liked a post from DJ Academics that was literally mocking the Toronto crowd for celebrating Kendrick, trying to push this weak narrative that the fans who cheered Not Like Us weren't real Sixers. Like, bruh, this ain't Hogwarts. You don't get to sort people into real and fake fandoms just because you're insecure. The crowd spoke loud. That stadium was thundering. You don't get 2 encores without full-blown city approval. But instead of reflecting on why this happened, instead of owning up to the fact that maybe, just maybe, he lost touch with the city he claimed to love, Drake chose violence. And not in a good way. Not on a track. Not through art. But through passive-aggressive pettiness and you're not real fans energy. And that's the exact opposite of what a leader does. The people of the six were supposed to ride for him forever. That's how hip-hop works. Nas had Queensbridge. Biggie had Brooklyn. T.I. had Atlanta. Kendrick got Compton. Your home is supposed to stand behind you no matter what. But with Drake, even that loyalty got tested, and it failed. That's how deep this loss cut. And now, he ain't just spiraling. He's setting the whole damn building on fire with him. Real talk. If you still watching and this downfall got you stunned like me, hit that like button so the whole culture sees what's really going on. And let me know in the comments, is this the worst fall off we ever seen in hip-hop history? Because if your own city turning on you ain't rock bottom, I don't know what is. Now this right here, this where it gets real sad real fast. Drake ain't just beefing with Kendrick no more. Nah, that'd be too logical. At least that would make sense. What Drake's doing now, he's spiraling, publicly, aggressively, and worst of all, pathetically. Dude got so rattled by the crowd chanting, "Not Like Us" twice in a row in his building, his backyard, that he turned around and started taking shots at the very people that used to ride for him the hardest. And it started with something that almost felt fake at first. Like no way he really sent that message. But nah, it's real. Man deadass DM'd a Canadian politician, someone who just went to enjoy a concert like everybody else, and called him a goof for attending Kendrick's show. A politician, dog. Drake out here acting like he's still at Degrassi High, trying to press the teacher who gave him a C-. This ain't gangster. This ain't clever. This is embarrassing. You ever seen a man try so hard to act like he unbothered that he ends up looking more bothered than anyone? That's Drake right now. Instead of dropping bars, instead of stepping up with some music that could maybe claw back some respect, This man posts a moody photo dump like an IG model who just got dumped. You got Kendrick leading 40,000 people in back-to-back victory chants, and you got Drake posting edited selfies and text screenshots like a freshman with beef in the group chat. And then it gets worse, because bro ain't just trying to act like he above it all, he's actively trying to flip the narrative. Man went and liked a post from DJ Academics mocking the Toronto crowd, the same crowd that used to be his strongest base, trying to say those people weren't real Sixers. Like, nah bro, that ain't the real Toronto. What? So the thousands screaming Kendrick lyrics and celebrating the biggest moment in hip hop since the Drake Meek beef, they don't count? The whole damn city don't count now, just cause they ain't riding with your losing team. Drake really tried to spin it like this was just a few haters in the crowd, a few ops who got lucky tickets. Nah, that building was rocking. That was full city energy. That was generational. The stadium was lit like the Raptors just won Game 7 again. And the wildest part is, Drake wasn't even there, but somehow he still got booed in spirit. And instead of owning it, man said, nah, it's y'all who tripping. This dude put up a whole persona over the last decade, the sixth god, the mayor of Toronto, the voice of the North. And now, when Toronto made it crystal clear they vibing with Kendrick more than him, Drake want to act like the people don't matter, like their voices ain't valid, like they disloyal. But let's be real, it ain't the people that switched up. It's Drake. This man been treating the city like a photo backdrop for years, only showing love when he need to promote an album or throw OVO fest. Meanwhile, he running to Atlanta every other week, biting flows from Memphis, stealing sauce from Houston, jacking styles from London, and then turning around and acting like the six raised him. Raised him how? He ain't raised nobody from there. Smiley, come on bruh, you gave the world one of the worst rappers alive and called it a gift. So now when that same city says, nah, we good, we rocking with someone who reps where he's from for real, that ain't betrayal, that's balance. That's hip hop coming back to its roots. Drake ain't mad they left him. He mad he finally got to face what he's been running from. The fact that his entire brand was built on borrowed loyalty. And now, he lashing out at fans and politicians and people just having a good time at a damn concert. And the worst part, he's not even dissing Kendrick, the actual person who beat him. He dissing the reception, the reaction. Because deep down, he knows it's over. Kendrick ain't even saying his name no more. And that silence, that's louder than any diss track Drake could ever drop. The man is imploding. And if you think that's wild, wait till you hear where he's running off to next. Because when home turns cold, the fake ones flee. Now, if you thought Drake spiraling on Instagram was bad, it gets even more pitiful when you peep what he doing next. Instead of facing this moment, reflecting on what went wrong, or even standing 10 toes in front of the L, this man is fleeing. For real. You can't make this up. Drake already packing his bags and setting up shows overseas, trying to rebrand the same way a failed tech company changes logos. He ducking his own city, the states, and anywhere that Kendrick's shadow looms too large. First stop, Europe. Drake just announced new shows with Party Next Door, and conveniently, they ain't nowhere near Toronto, or LA, or New York, or anywhere that would force him to face the noise. He's running to London, trying to build a fake little OVO fest overseas, like the UK don't got internet, like they ain't see what just happened at the Rogers Center, like this L ain't global. And yeah, maybe Wireless Fest gonna show up for him, maybe the crowds in Europe still got love, but that ain't the point. The point is, you don't run from where you from unless you know you lost. That ain't strategy, that's shame, that's fear. That's the look of a rapper who watched his empire collapse in real time and is now trying to outrun the rubble. But it's too late, we all saw it, we all heard it, and that Not Like Us encore, that shit gonna echo forever, because this ain't just about one city or one song or one tour. This is about what happens when the mask slips, when the persona cracks, when the guy who made a career out of emotional transparency suddenly refuses to show any real vulnerability. Drake ain't in pain, he's in denial. He got curved by his own hometown, and now he acting like they never mattered. That ain't hip-hop royalty, that's a fall from grace on some Greek tragedy type stuff, and the ripple effects are already hitting. You think OVO Fest still going down this year? You think Drake coming back to Toronto anytime soon? Bro out here canceling plans like a dude who found out his ex gonna be at the party. The one city that was always supposed to ride with him, even when the world clowned him, has officially left the building. And now Drake looking around like, wait, y'all ain't coming with me? No, bro, they not. And Kendrick sitting back quiet. No need to diss, no need to flex, cause the W is already so massive it speaks for itself. He turned Drake's hometown into a hostile environment for the man who once claimed to run it. He ain't just win the beef, he won the soul of the genre. He made hip hop feel real again, grounded, competitive, region rooted. And as Kendrick takes his victory laps, Drake out here trying to act like he got somewhere better to be. But the truth is, there ain't nowhere left. Because once you lose home, and you lose your pride, and you lose the music battle, and then the people too, there's nothing left but ego, and even that's starting to crack. So shout out to everybody who showed up to those Toronto shows. Y'all ain't just had fun, y'all made history. You sent a message that even the most untouchable artist in the game ain't safe when he forgets where he came from. And you reminded the whole culture that real loyalty has limits, even in the 6. And Kendrick, bro didn't just end a career, he brought hip hop back to life. So now that Drake's running from the smoke, running from the 6, and basically running from himself, what y'all think happens next? Is this the moment he finally taps out? Or is he really gonna try to rebuild somewhere else like this L didn't happen? Drop your take in the comments. I'm gonna be in there with y'all. And if you riding with Kendrick in this whole cultural shift we watching unfold, go ahead and smash that like button so the algorithm knows what side of history you on. We just reached 2K, so hit that sub too and lock in for the next chapter. Cause if this was the funeral, wait till you see the after party.
All right.
Roger Center lit up, city chose a king. Not like us on blast, you hear the people sing. From the 6 to the west, legacy on trial. This that checkmate moment, ain't no denial. Drake meltdown, Toronto, facts on fire. Kendrick tore it down, crowd raised him higher. Encore in the 6, not like us went dumb. He ain't just lost Canada, he lost where he from. Politician got the DM, called him a goof. Trying to clown your city, bruh, that's not proof. Chart numbers slipping, Europe on the map. Now we running from the smoke, can't handle the clap back. Not like us, got the streets going loud. Toronto turned, they ain't messing with the crowd. Drake spiral while the king held it down. Checkmate, Merv, Kendrick snatched that crown. OVO Fest, man, that joint in limbo. Kendrick stood tall, Drake went out the window. Running to wireless, hiding in the UK. Whole city flipped on him, you can't pee all that away. DJ Academics trying to gas up the pain, but the 6 got lost, can't fix that with fame. He ducked the states, bounced from the scene. Now Kendrick run hip-hop real raw and clean. So toast to the throne, the 6 done chose. Drake's run ended in his own zip code. West Coast won with the crowd in the stands. Now hip hop back where it truly began.